I'll be sharing 8 most common mistakes that Amazon beginner sellers make, and I'll also share how you can avoid them when you're selling on Amazon. Let's go. Hey everyone, my name is Orin and welcome back to my channel. If you're interested in learning more about online businesses, mindset, and all things entrepreneurship, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Number 1, picking a product in a low competitive or low demand niche. When people start their business, especially on Amazon, they tend to avoid competitive niches. But you know what? Competition is a good thing. You don't want to be afraid of competition. Competition means there is demand. If you find a product which has very little competition, that could be okay in some aspects. For example, if a lot of people are not selling it or there aren't many listings of the same product, then it could be easy for you to rank on page 1 or become the best seller and things like that. People are usually very afraid of competition, but competition is actually a good thing and it means that there is a lot of demand. When you find a product with very little competition, that simply means that that product has very less demand. Think about it in this way. If a lot of people are not searching for this product on Amazon, chances for you to make a sale is very less. Best thing to do is not to find something that is too high in competition or something that's too low in competition. Find something that is in between the both, something that has moderate competition. When you're doing your research on Amazon, look for top sellers for that product. Look for 10 to 15 sellers and check everything. Check their reviews, check if it looks like a proper listing and things like that. Now, if these listings have over 800 to 1000 reviews, then I do not recommend to go ahead with them. If they have thousands and thousands of reviews or over 1000 reviews, then that is an indication that this might be too high in competition and I would look for something else. On the other hand, if there is very little competition and it has very few reviews, then that could also mean that it has very low demand. So when you're selecting your product, try to find a midpoint. Another very important thing to keep in mind is that not to go for products that are already very big and established. For example, brands that people already know about and have been there for years. Brands that are established on this scale has very huge marketing budgets. They do TV commercials, they are on the billboards, you'll find them in the grocery stores, and it will be very hard for you to compete with that. I would highly suggest you to use a tool like Helium 10 or Jungle Scout when you're doing your product research, and you can find out how many monthly sales these products are doing, and that will give you more validation and clarity when you're selecting your product. Number 2, picking a product with low selling price. When you're doing product research and picking your product, you want to make sure that you avoid those very low price inexpensive products. For example, when you come across listings and their products are priced at $7 or $8 or $10, these are the kind of products that you want to absolutely avoid. If you sell anything on Amazon that is below $15, it will be very hard for you to make good profit margins. There are a lot of additional expenses that you have to pay to Amazon. So if you pick a product which is very low in price, then that will simply eat into your profits. I would recommend you to go for a product that you'll be able to list at $20 to $30 during your launch phase, and then you can increase the price later as your listing gets more established. When you're doing your research, make sure to take notes of all top selling products and their price range. You'll come across the same product with all different prices. One could be $20, one could be $25, one could be $30. So make sure you take notes of all of that and keep a track. So when your listing gets more established, you can increase the price the same way. A good thing to do is to offer your customers a better version of that product when you increase the price. So make sure to look for products that has room to grow. This ties into the third point, which is failing to innovate your product. I find a lot of people do this. They find a product on Amazon that's doing really well and they copy everything exactly how it is on the other listings, and then they sell it. They don't work on the product any further. They don't use their creativity, or they don't innovate it in the future, and they just keep selling the same thing. And the only difference between their product and the other listings product is that they have slapped their own logo and packaging, and that's about it. Customers are very smart now. They understand everything. They are also always looking for cheaper products. So if your products does not offer something which is an additional feature or something like that, which is something innovative, then the customers will go and find something which is cheaper And this will not give you that massive success and sales. It will sell, but it will not give you that many sales as it could with an updated version of that product. The idea is to keep innovating and offer your customers something better, because new products are coming out every day, and if you don't do this, you will not be able to compete with that. Please do keep in mind not to get too confused and caught up during your launch phase. A lot of people get stuck while selecting their products, and then it takes them years sometimes to find a product or select the right color and things like that. So make sure you don't get caught up with that. It's important to also launch your product as soon as possible, because if you don't even have a product that you have launched, then you have nothing to innovate. So make sure to not get caught up with analysis and paralysis, and just go ahead with a product that you think is good and that has room to grow. Innovating comes much after your launch phase. You could do it on your second, or actually even on your third inventory order. And always look for your reviews and check your reviews and see what your customers are complaining about, because they will tell you exactly what your product does not have and what difficulty they had during its use. So you can always take notes from your customers' feedback and then innovate from that. Another pro tip is that when you're doing your product research, make sure to check your competitors' reviews and find out what the customers are saying and what they're complaining about. You can take notes from that and try to find a better version during your launch phase. If you can do this, then you're already one step ahead of your competitors. You can do a better packaging, you can add a small gift for your customers, or even add a small note with a nice quote or something like that. The idea is to add value. This is building your brand's reputation, and if the customer is happy, then that will bring you a lot of referral sales. Number 4, low quality product photos and videos. Why do we usually pick a product in a retail store? What attracts us to the product? It's usually the packaging, or otherwise how the product is being presented. It could be a piece of clothing also, but if it is going to be packed up in a bag, a plastic bag, and just displayed, we would not really go and pick that up and check it. On the other hand, if it's displayed very nicely under some bright lights on a hanger, fully open, then chances are that we are going to go and check it out. For online platforms like Amazon, the only way to attract your customers are by your photos and videos. Even when you're running ads and it's shown to your customers, they will only click it if it looks appealing. If you have poor quality photos that you have just taken by yourself, or you have just taken them from your supplier, then that will not help you in making any sales. Product images and videos are all you have to convince your customers to buy from you. They're not able to touch it or try it, so it is absolutely important to get professional photo shoot done for your products. Amazon is mainly about photos, but you can add videos too, and I highly suggest you do that. Now, your photo shoot does not have to be something very, very expensive. You can find something which is very reasonable, or you can also go in Upwork or Fiverr and find these services. These are very reasonable usually on these marketplaces, and you can get help from them. You can get photography ideas from your competitors, or you can also go check on Pinterest and see how they do these photo shoots, and you can also implement the same. I highly suggest you to not hold back on investing in your product photo shoot and to have high quality images and videos for your product. Number 5, no inventory management. Managing your inventory is one of the most important things when it comes to your business. It's important to know how many units to order so you have enough units in stock. And at the same time, you don't have excessive stock where you're paying a large amount of storage fee to the Amazon fulfillment warehouse. Now, inventory management reports can be overwhelming sometimes. I have ignored them. I have struggled with them. If you think that you cannot do inventory management, you cannot read it, you don't understand it, I would highly suggest you to hire someone to help you with it. Another thing you can also do is you can use Jungle Scout or Helium 10's inventory manager, but make sure not to ignore this. For example, if you have many SKUs, then try to find out which is your best selling product and then stock up more of that rather than stocking all of them, which may not be selling. Now you will have your best seller not go out of stock and also not have excessive inventory of the other ones that sell moderately. Also, being out of stock can affect your ranking on Amazon. We all know this, that Amazon is a customer-centric business and they don't like it when they see that their customers are not able to purchase something that they have liked because it's out of stock. So if they find a product is out of stock, then that can hurt your listing rank too. Number 6, not using or managing PPC. PPC or pay-per-click is Amazon's own advertising platform inside of Amazon, and I highly recommend you to use it. Especially if you've just started and launched your product, it will really help your product to get the exposure. I also suggest you do keyword research and optimize your listing with those keywords. It is important to put them in the front end and also at the back end of your listing. And you can also add the keywords to your PPC. This is important because Amazon is, after all, a search engine and your products will be discovered through the keywords. I would highly suggest you to learn about PPC ads and then run the ads, and always remember to monitor them because they can get very expensive if you don't monitor them and keep a track. Number 7 is not abiding by Amazon's rules. A lot of new sellers don't understand this, but if you want to sell on Amazon, you need to follow Amazon's terms of service. Being able to sell on Amazon's platform is a privilege, and you must abide by the rules and terms of service. You have to be aware of the current rules, and you also have to be aware of the constantly changing rules. For example, you cannot have multiple accounts, you cannot manipulate reviews, you cannot communicate with your customers directly, and things like that. If you don't learn about the rules or if you don't follow them, then this can lead to your account being suspended, or your listing being suspended, or your listing being taken down. Trust me on this, these things won't stay hidden. Amazon always finds out, and when that happens, you'll have your account suspended, and you of course do not want that. That's your business, that's one of your income streams, and if you get suspended, then that stops. So make sure you follow Amazon's terms of service and you abide by their rules. And number 8 is starting a second product too soon. When you launch your first product and you start to see some success, it is very normal and it's very motivating for anyone to start to work on another new product and then to launch it. The key to success with your product is to give it time and attention. I've seen a lot of people start to plan their second product within just a month or two, and that's honestly too soon. After launching your first product, you need to make sure that you do whatever it is that you need to do so your product is doing well. Until you're sure that your first one is all set and you have laid strong foundations and it can run and work without you, I don't recommend you going for your second product. The key to being successful with anything in life is to do one thing at a time. If you do 10 things at one time, then you will not be able to focus properly, and in the long run, you may just stop most of them. When you start a business, give it time, set up systems so it can run and operate without you, and then you can move to the next one. So make sure you take your time before you launch your second product. If this video was helpful or added any value, please give us a big thumbs up. Also subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know in comments below if you have any questions. I'll try my best to answer most of them, and I'll see you in the next one.